If you could pack a bag and you were going to live in that bag for your whole life, what would you pack in it?
Okay. Blanket, a pillow, a tent, and marshmallows, and pizza, and chocolate.
Yummy, that sounds good.
Does it make you sad that some people don't have houses?
Yeah. I saw one people that was homeless, so he slept on a train.
How did that make you feel?
Sad.
Yeah. It's not fair, is it?
Yeah.
Would you want to help them?
Yeah, by um by by saying you could live with me.
That's really nice that you would offer that, Marley.
The last time you saw a homeless person, how did you feel?
I offer to buy them a cup of coffee or something to eat because you've done the human thing, which is to acknowledge that they're there and that they're human and that they might need something.
You get tired of it over time. It becomes normal.
Anger almost at why this person ended up in the position they are in, that they didn't bring this upon themselves.
My name is Kendall Atterbury. I'm a social worker in New York City. So ESP is the Emergency Shelter Partnership, and it is a volunteer, primarily faith-based organization that works to house people and feed them during the coldest months of the year in northern Westchester.
How do you think that volunteering can help people change their stereotypes about homelessness and hunger?
I think from what I've heard from people and from my own experiences, simply being in contact and being able to have that, whatever level of relationship you can have with a person that you don't know very well, and start to see them as full human beings, that translates even without language and even without, a deeper sense of connection. And I do think that's changing people's ideas. The other thing that is clearly changed is almost everyone who stays with us during the cold months works. These are not people who are just, well, even if they were, but this is not, the stereotype that people just expect something to be given to them and they're not contributing is just not true. It's primarily people who can't make enough to afford a full lease and a full rent. So when they can afford a place, a room, they rent it, and other than that, they're lost in the cold.
My job essentially is to pick people up, drive them here, and supervise activities in the night. How I help is basically keeping the peace. There's not a lot to keep, but you try to treat everyone with a little dignity. And
Has doing all of that just kind of like changed your perspective on our community or on like any perception you had of homelessness?
Well, in a couple of ways, I think. In the first place, it may sound kind of stereotypical or more like a platitude, but you actually see people, before I see shadows. Before I did this, I would see people as shadows or brief blurs as they were sort of hanging around, trying not to be noticed.
Has this affected you emotionally, both in a positive way and in a negative way at all, if there isn't?
Virtually all positive. This is a place where everything from politics to any other worldly concerns kind of come to die, because really the object is just to get through the night. I mean, it seems silly to say that when you're really in a comfortable place and people are laughing and taking it easy. It's not a standalone shelter. It's a lot less dangerous and a lot less apprehensive than that. But that's really how it's changed me. It makes me more appreciative, not just of what I have, but what I do.
I am Disability Counsel at Legal Services of the Hudson Valley, which is a free legal services program for low-income people in the Hudson Valley.
What's brought you to this work?
I had a family member, my brother, who suffered from mental illness, and so I wanted to work with that population. What I found was that you can't help anyone get a better life without their having safe and stable housing. And so many of my clients who were disabled were always on the precipice of eviction. It's sort of been an evolution for me in terms of where I've come to really love and value my housing practice probably more than other things that I do, because it's really what matters the most.
Do you feel like laws are enough to respond to homelessness, or do you think that there are ways society needs to address it?
I think laws are probably the way to start. I think there needs to be more of a humanization of the homeless. People, like I said before, homeless people make people uncomfortable. They don't want to know their stories because their stories are scary, because their stories could happen to them. A lot of homeless are veterans, and we're supposed to take care of our veterans. And look what happens when we ask people to go fight in wars and they come back and they have no place to live or to work. All of that makes people really uncomfortable. So until we start to get people to understand and accept that this is a problem, and it's not just the homeless person's problem, it's a community problem, it's a national problem. People have to want to help people.
Like sort everything out, because their volunteer programs are like very, very
prescribed.
time I don't know the right word, time heavy. Like they require a lot of time.
Yeah.
And just like between work and school, and now I hear myself like I don't have the time. For
Yeah.
But,
No,
like,
but that's real.
I need like
that's,
volunteers that are like.
you need more flexibility.
Yeah.